This is the June 24th, 2024, Goffstown Select Board meeting. Would you please all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up is the acceptance and correction of minutes, and that would be for 6/10/24, public and non-public.
I'll make a motion, we accept the 6/10/24 public and non-public minutes with corrections if need be.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion passes. I do have an announcement. Well, actually, I received an email, and it says, "Dear Peter, I just wanted to send you a note to express my appreciation to the Select Board for continued support of the Goffstown Gala. This year's edition of the now 45th annual event saw a tremendous increase in participation. There were 172 registered runners for the race this year. I want to thank Rick Wilhelmi and his crew for supporting and doing a great job putting this event together. I also want to acknowledge the CERT crew for their efforts for the event as well. Kevin LaRoche, the Goffstown Police Department, for keeping the runners safe. I know that you know how honored I am to have the gala named after me and look forward to the 46th annual David French Goffstown Gala. My family is forever grateful for this honor." And he asked me to read this into the minutes and make sure we shared this with the Parks and Rec Board. And as always, Dave, Barbara, Heather, Stephen, and Stephanie French. So another successful Goffstown Gala. I see no other announcements. Is there anybody here for public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Town Administrator's report.
Thank you. At tab 6A, you have your committee meeting scheduled for the next 2 weeks. On Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., the Historic District Commission will meet at Grassmere Town Hall.
Yep.
On Thursday at 7 p.m., the Planning Board will be in this room.
Yes, Wednesday is also a Conservation Commission meeting, and I'll have that covered.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry for that omission. Next week, on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., the Library Board of Trustees will be at the Public Library.
I'll be there.
Reminder, Thursday, July 4th is a holiday, so Town Hall, Goffstown Library, Public Works, and the transfer station will be closed. The curbside collection will remain on schedule. At your next page, you have your consent agenda. You did have an updated sheet on the table. Employee status reports, you have a DP solid waste truck driver. This is a rehire. You have a full-time fire lieutenant that is receiving now the paramedic stipend. You have 5 full-time police officers promoted to senior patrol officer and 2 full-time police officers promoted to master patrol officer. You have non-union pay changes effective July 1st. This is for all 5 departments with the exception of, that does not include the library. And then you have the union pay changes effective July 1st for the town's 4 unions. You have event permits. You have a car show at Mountain Base Brewery at 533 Mass Road on July 13th. You have the Goffstown Public Library group book discussion at the Glen Lake Waterfront on August 3rd. You have rights to inter on Shirley Hill Cemetery, Section 3, Lot X1A. You have West Lawn Cemetery, Section S2, Lots 130, 131, and 132. And West Lawn Cemetery, Section S3, Lot 184. You have a license renewal for motor vehicle junkyard and junkyard operator license for Force 5 Automotive, doing business as Herbert's Used Auto Parts. And then you have the Teamsters Collective Bargaining Agreement that was approved at town meeting from 2024 to 2025.
Motion to approve the consensus folder tonight. Items presented.
Second.
Motion by Mark, seconded by Jim. Question, Derek. On the motor vehicle junkyard, does anybody do an inspection on that?
Yes, Jack actually went out on Friday. Jack Shepard, the building inspector, code enforcement officer, went out on Friday and walked the yard with him. Noted a couple items that he wanted cleaned up a little bit, but otherwise it was well within the NHDES standards.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Kelly?
For the non-union wage adjustments, what is the total amount? Because is this different than April's?
Maybe a little bit different from April because we've had some personnel changes.
But the rates all stayed the same?
Yes.
I still went with the 60%, right?
The 60th percentile, yes.
60%.
Yep.
Anything else?
I don't know, it just looks different to me for some reason.
Pardon me?
It just looks different to me for some reason. Okay, yep.
Okay, I mean, you want to leave it open to further
Did
discussion?
you want to pull that one out for further discussion?
Well, no, I mean, you're telling me it's the same, it's just personnel that moved, right?
Yes, we had a couple of personnel changes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Motion by Mark, seconded by Jim. Is there any more questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion passes.
Your next page, you have an assessor's recommendation. This is for a tax credit for service-connected total disability for MAP 18, Lot 11. This was filed after the April 15th deadline, so otherwise it would qualify. The assessor notes that there is a provision in the law that the select board could find that the individual was prevented by accident, mistake, or misfortune from filing permanent application timely before April 15th. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to read the letter from the property owner that was it's not in your packet, but it was in the signature sheet. And if you agree with the property owner, I would ask you to make that finding that it was filed late due to accident, mistake, or misfortune, and to grant it for the 2024 tax year.
What was the assessor's recommendation? Sorry, I didn't see that.
The assessor's recommendation was that it met the qualifications otherwise. I will say that this individual just received the notice from, that they received the service-connected total disability from the VA. It was dated January of 2024 when they made the determination, but he did not receive that actual letter until after the April 15th deadline. So that's what the individual indicated in their letter to the select board.
Jim, do you have something to say? No?
No, it sounds like the VA.
Yeah, government bureaucracy. I'll make a motion to accept the late filing due to accident, mistake, misfortune in accordance with New Hampshire RSA 72:33, IA, and approve the tax credit for the service-connected total disability on MAP 18, Lot 1.
Second.
Motion by Mark, seconded by Collis. Any more questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion passes.
At tab 6D, you have a recommendation from the tax collector for the appointment of a deputy tax collector. Recently, our bookkeeper and the individual that held the deputy tax collector responsibilities left, resigned, and went to another job. So they are recommending that the sewer executive secretary take over those tasks. Danielle and Lynn both went to the sewer commissioners to discuss if they had any concerns about this, and they did not have any concerns.
How does she get compensated?
So she will be compensated, her regular hourly rate will be paid from the sewer commissioner, the sewer enterprise fund. This weekly stipend will come from the general fund.
So it's a stipend, it's not an hourly.
Correct, it's a stipend.
I move to appoint Lynn Pooler as the deputy tax collector for term expiring March 31st, 2025.
Second.
Motion by Jim, seconded by Collis. Any more questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes.
At your next tab, tab 6E, the town's 5-year contract for copiers at Town Hall, DPW, and the fire station recently expired. We've been basically working in between and looking at what is available with some of the other copier contracts are out there, and also knowing that our current copier that's provided by Canon Solutions America is the state contract. It's our recommendation to recommend a 5-year contract. We estimate of the 4 copiers at these locations that the cost will go up about $20 per month per device. So it's not a significant increase over the last 5-year contract. And the nice thing is everybody at these departments are used to these machines and are able to use these machines, so it'll take no additional training for this.
How long was the last contract?
It was a 5-year contract.
5 also.
Yep, yeah, you see on your next page, there's a memo from the Information Systems Director that talks about what the previous contract is, where we are right now with our out-of-contract costs, and then the proposed contract. And basically, the black and white copies are going to go up a small amount, a color a very small amount, and it's really that $13.75 per device per month is really the increase, which is a pretty small increase from when we started back in March of 2019.
Make a motion to enter a 5-year contract with Canon Solutions America for rental of copiers at Town Hall, DPW office, and the fire department, and monthly printing costs under the terms of the state of New Hampshire contract, and authorize the town administrator to sign the agreement.
Second.
Motion by Mark, seconded by Kelly. Is there further discussion? Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion passes.
At tab 6F, this is a funding opportunity that is available to the town for fiscal year '25. This would allow the temporary expansion of the Manchester Transit Authority Goffstown shuttle program that currently runs. Recently, our planner, Joanne Duffy, attended the Regional Coordinating Council, which is run out of Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission. And they have recently received additional funds from NHDOT for fiscal year '25 only. And what they were looking for was specifically for shuttle programs or other programs that are already been implemented, and for expansion rather than starting new locations. So what we'd be able to do for this is we'd be able to get additional hours. It would be 64 hours per quarter, which works out to 256 service hours total. So that would be able to, rather than right now the shuttle goes from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., this would allow us to extend the shuttle program by 1 hour till 3 p.m. on those 5 days. The total cost would be $13,312, but the town would only pay the 20% match. So it'd be $2,662 for those additional 256 hours. That would be split between this year and then quarters 1 and 2 of 2025 would be we'd have to pay out of.
A
So
little over $10 an hour, it's pretty cheap.
yeah. Once you factor in the federal match, absolutely. This would be a one-time expansion. If this was going to be a permanent in the future beyond fiscal year '25, they would need to. The regional council would have to see what they have for money available, and if they wanted to make that. But I think doing it for 1 year, we might be able to collect that additional users and see.
Yeah, get some data out of it.
Yeah.
And where would we get those funds?
We have some savings in the wage lines right now. We also are going to have some savings in one of the consulting lines out of the planning department that we can use, that we can pull from.
I'll make a motion to request additional funding in fiscal year '25 from the Regional Coordinating Council for New Hampshire Community Transportation Region 8 to for 4 additional 64 hours per quarter of service for the MTA Goffstown shuttle with matching funds to come from the town operating budget.
Second.
Motion by Collis, seconded by Mark. Is there any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes.
That's
Next.
all I had for the town administrator's report.
Okay, so then we're going on to select board discussion on old business that Mark brought up about potentially hiring a purchasing agent.
Yes, so what I did after the last meeting is went on to the NHMA website to look at what they had for available salary data, as well as looked at the New Hampshire Employment Security website to see what they had. Basically, it would probably fall, it again would be dependent on what the job description and what the educational requirements and job description essential functions would come down to. But it would most likely, if you were going to create this type of job, it would fall somewhere between G8 and G12. When we take an average of the top 3 steps in those 5 labor grades, the average came out to about $30 an hour. So the wages would be about just over $50,000. And then when you factor in all the other required retirement insurance and other benefits, as well as the required technology that we'd have to bring on board, the estimated cost is about $99,000 for this position. So if the board wanted to budget for this in a future budget, I think we could leave that up to the board, at least on what the cost would be.
Do we have any data that says how many other towns of our size have this?
So on the page immediately behind tab 7B, you have the municipal wage data. Right now, the only community that is smaller than us that has this is the city of Laconia. They have a population of just under 16,000, so they have one. Everybody else are communities that are larger than ours that I was able to find through NHMA.
I think that maybe it's something we should hold off and talk about. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, Derek, was there job descriptions available?
I'm sure I can get job descriptions. I did not pull job descriptions.
I was just curious of, you know, what would be the benefits of this and what kind of like, policy implementation we'd have to do to get something like this up and going. Mark, did you have any ideas when you suggested it?
I really didn't have any ideas. The only thing that I was kind of just, I'd like to slow the spending down and rein it in and just make it easier. That's all. I mean, I don't have any long-range plans, just see what we can do, period.
So we know there's about $100,000 in expenses the first year.
Yes.
Do you have any idea on what kind of savings we would realize? I mean, I have a hard time justifying this in these fiscal times, taking on another position, adding another position. People are struggling to get by as it is. I have a real concern on the optics of it. You know, here we are adding another position, $100,000 a year, and I don't see any corresponding savings that would go along with it. Do we have any idea what the savings would be like to justify the expense? That's my question.
Well, I guess,
concern.
Mark, when you say slow down the spending, I mean, what did you have in mind? Because those are things that we can enact.
We'll talk about it in non-public, how's that?
Okay. Sure.
Is that something you want to add to a non-public?
Yeah, we can do that, non-public.
Fair enough.
I'm not really sure. Budgeting items, talking about budgeting items, this should, unless it's affecting
Yeah.
somebody's reputation or something,
Mm.
would you qualify that as a?
It normally is not, it
Right.
normally is not, no.
Yeah, that should be out in the open, transparent.
Well, I'm looking at this as something, you know, some of it's not, you know, it's not 100,000, but I don't know if, like they say, salary of 70,000, if that includes all the bennies that go with it, you know what I'm saying?
That's usually the salary,
Yeah.
not the benefits, so you kind of see the calculation that I,
All right. Well, I think that's something to keep the back of our mind and maybe pick up again in October and November. And I don't necessarily disagree with Mark that maybe we need to tighten the purse strings a little bit, so especially when we're in a default budget, and watch what we're spending, you know.
I mean, I will say that there are some departments that do a very good job, and there are other departments, not at all, you know?
Well, that's something you can bring up at a meeting and we'll
Yeah.
talk about it, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Let's put that off, let's keep it in the, in fact, we can put it in the action matrix, I wouldn't
Okay.
be doing that.
yep. We'll just put it for future consideration during
Right.
budget.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, you want to talk about the employee appreciation?
Yeah, I did email everybody earlier today with the amounts that were spent over the last few years for the employee appreciation barbecue. We spent just both in 2022, the board spent $4,402.05. And then in 2023, it was just up a ticket to $4,434. And that was to cover the food, the party rentals for the tables and chairs, entertainment, and as well as supplies. This year, as part of the operating budget, we did increase the wellness line to $6,000 to try and start budgeting for this event, and rather than pulling from other lines. With the default budget, you did, this was not one of the lines that you reduced when you reallocated, so you do have $6,000 in this employee wellness line that you could spend from if you wanted to.
Did we ever do the drawings and pass that out? I don't.
Yes.
We did.
Yes.
When was that done?
January.
Pardon me?
We didn't,
I thought,
I'm
did
thinking
you,
of the open enrollment ones.
no, we did those, was there, did you do a raffle for gift cards at?
Yeah, but we used the gift cards from the credit card.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Did we ever do that last year? I don't ever remember seeing that.
We didn't do it the
there.
night, we didn't do it the night of, but
We
those
did
are,
it afterwards to encompass everybody, not just those that were in attendance.
You did it for everybody, right?
yes.
That way, if somebody couldn't attend, they could still be part of that event.
Okay. I don't mind doing that again this year, but then I think it'd be important that that's posted someplace for the employees can all see, and maybe it gets some, generates a little bit more that, oh yeah, they are doing that, and people are getting the gift cards or whatever.
So $4,400, and how many employees do we have? I'm just trying to get a figure in my mind per employee. What that-
140
140 per?
roughly,
Yeah, as part of regular.
regular.
Okay, thank you.
Was the food more expensive than the last time? I think the way I looked at this, it was kind of hard the way it was, because it said employee barbecue catering was $31.25,
Yeah, there was a slight increase, I think, this
but the
year,
year before it was
2,400.
$2,400.
Yeah, and I think that had to do with estimated head count that we provided.
Because it seemed like last year we had a lot left too.
Right. And they also brought
Well,
some.
Mays gave us a lot of extra food.
Well, I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
There was-
if we need to cut someplace, which I'm just looking at where we could save $1 or $2, you know what I mean?
think there was less people last year than the year before.
That's what I said.
That's what I-
Yeah, it seemed to be.
Well, I'm for going ahead with it again. I think we need to pick a date and be on top of it and be earlier.
Getting money.
Yeah.
Do we have any dates in mind?
I just want to pull up the monthly calendar.
I'd still like that August, like the 22nd of August. That's a Thursday night. We wanted to do it on Thursday, right? Didn't we do it on Thursday?
I think we've done it Thursday the past couple times.
Right.
It does a good job of avoiding
Conflicts?
any meeting conflicts.
Well, except for planning board, but
Well, the 22nd would be.
that's not really an employee thing anyways.
But we have employees that staff it.
Right.
So the 22nd would be a planning board night.
29th is,
29th.
it goes into a holiday. When's the holidays, the 2nd?
Yes, so it's right, it's that Thursday before Labor Day weekend. It's also when some school districts,
That's the only one that comes, problems, whether it is or not.
oh, okay, yeah, we have tours.
Do you want to do it earlier then? How about the 8th?
That's a planning board meeting that night.
I mean, I think it'd be.
22nd, I'm not available. I'm out of town. I'm in Wisconsin or some freaking place. My company's having an annual conference. I gotta go.
So, August 6th, that's the first Tuesday, that's National Night Out that the police department will be
Right.
hosting. So I would say that week, you would want to avoid that week.
How about the 29th? Start the weekend off.
Will a lot of people be on vacation already?
The School start the next week?
School start, in Goffstown, it starts on the Tuesday after Labor Day. I don't know.
That would
Other
be
school
the third.
districts, some school districts do start before Labor Day.
But it doesn't matter, it's in the afternoon anyway. I don't really care what school.
We can ask the committee if they could move that.
Yeah, we could ask them to
That'd be
move
the
that.
easiest, I think.
Yes.
What, the planning board meeting?
No, Budget Committee has a
Tour.
tour that night, but I'm sure we could work with them to,
Town hall,
Wait,
That's-
what
Yeah,
night?
that's not a final schedule.
this is just a draft schedule at this point.
Thursday, the night we're talking about.
29th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
August 29th.
So you're not available.
I don't
I
know.
think that'd be great. I think we would hype it as kick off your holiday weekend with
Yeah.
joining us,
Yeah.
blah, 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 you know?
Yeah, we can put that out and start getting announcements put up in the different departments.
Danielle's at work?
Sounds good.
August
Okay.
29th, okay.
You want to do it at Roy Park still?
Sure.
Okay.
What time, I'm sorry?
We'll start at 5, right?
that's what I believe. Last year was
I think we
5.
started at 5 and served food at 6.
Yeah, well, we'll look at how we've done it the last 2 years.
So should we be reaching out to LeMays and people like that now? Is that what we
Yeah.
want to do?
Yeah, we'll
Or
reach
do we
out.
want to research something different? I mean, they did a good job. I mean,
Yeah.
No, let's stick
provided
with
us
it.
in our budget. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Good if they can come
I'll
up
meet with
with-
Ricky and talk to
Yeah,
Ricky
I mean, it's a
about
known
it.
commodity, they do a good job, I think we ought to just stick with it.
Okay, we'll see if they're available. And,
I'll talk to Ricky, see what's going on.
okay.
Yeah. So we're looking at 20, because you don't know, he may be out of, I don't think so, he would be on a Thursday. I'll reach out to him. All right. Anything else? Anybody here for public comment? Seeing none? Close public comment. Motion, Mark?
Motion to go into non-public, RSA 91A:32A for compensation, hiring, and illegal.
Second?
Motion by Mark, seconded by Kelly. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. That'll conclude our public meeting for the June 24th Goffstown Select Board.